Hi, my name is David, and I want to thank you for spending a little time with us to watch the TaxSlayerPro software demo video. TaxSlayerPro is an easy-to-learn, easy-to-use tax preparation software package. The software features a full business tax return suite, including the 1065 partnership return, the 1120S return, and the 1041 estate return. All states are included in the software package, and TaxSlayerPro also includes the 1040NR program as well. TaxSlayerPro has been rated #1 in customer support. The software is network compatible, and we have the ability to convert data from other tax software packages. Before showing you how easy it is to prepare a tax return, let's take a look across the top of the main menu and discuss the program features that are included. First, a handy built-in calculator. Next, an icon that allows you to check the status of a client's submitted return at any time. An interactive appointment calendar for planning your tax season. A message center for quick communication updates from TaxSlayerPro. Here, we'll keep you constantly aware of any relevant IRS messages and any important announcements from TaxSlayer. Next, an icon that will quickly take you to the most relevant IRS publications and instructions. The paper cut icon, which serves as the entry point to the paperless office system found in the TaxSlayer Premium Package. The Quick Calc program. This program allows you to quickly calculate a simple tax return situation. For example, a single person with one W-2, and it gives you the opportunity to let your client know within seconds how much of a refund he or she might be getting. As the tax season winds to a close, extensions can be quickly and easily completed from the main menu. And finally, the Client Retention Tool. This tool allows you to track the number of returning clients and also gives you the ability to easily contact last year's clients who might not have come in yet. Both of these functions work best if you used TaxSlayer last year. In this video, we'll prepare an early season return for a taxpayer who's filing as head of household and receiving the Earned Income Credit. We'll mark the return for electronic filing, and we'll submit the return as what we call a bank product, with the preparer fees coming out of the client's refund. There are a couple of ways to begin a new return in TaxSlayer. You can select Tax Returns from the TaxSlayerPro main menu, click 1 Tax Returns, or simply enter the number 1 from your keyboard. Next, you'll see the prompt to enter the taxpayer's Social Security number. You'll then be asked if you wish to create a new return. In this demo video, we'll answer yes. Select the taxpayer's filing status. As we mentioned earlier, for our client's return, we'll select Head of Household. Enter the taxpayer's first name, middle initial, and last name. The date of birth, the occupation, the street address, and the zip code. Notice, once you enter the zip code, the city and the state automatically fill. At this point, you would also want to enter 2 telephone numbers for the taxpayer because we're going to do a bank product. Also, on this screen, you'll want to enter your taxpayer's email address. Click OK once you've finished entering the personal data. The personal information, name and address menu will appear. You can make any corrections or additions to the client's personal data by selecting the desired menu option. So now we'll exit the name and address menu. Now, I purposely entered the Social Security number incorrectly the second time through in the personal information menu. You can see that the program will prompt me for the correct Social Security number for the client. Next, you'll be asked if you want to enter any dependents in the tax return. Since we're going to be adding a dependent for this head of household return, I'm going to answer yes, and the screen will prompt me for the dependent's information. I'm going to click the New button and enter the dependent into the program. If the dependent's last name is the same as the taxpayer, I can simply hit the Enter key and the last name will automatically fill in. The program recognizes that because of Jeremy's age, he might qualify for dependent care expenses. Since Jeremy was at a daycare center, I'm going to go ahead and put in daycare expenses here. Once the dependent's been entered, I'm now given the opportunity to review the dependent's information and make sure that everything's correct. If I had other dependents to enter, I would simply hit the New button and begin the procedure again. But this taxpayer has only one dependent, so I'm going to exit this menu. The program's recognized that I put in an amount for the daycare providers. So now it's asking me, do I want to enter the child care provider's information? Again, to enter the daycare information, I just hit the New button, give the provider's EIN number, the address, and the zip code, and once again the city and the state will automatically fill in. Now I need to re-enter the amount that I paid for child care, and once again I have the opportunity to review the information for the Sunshine House, make sure that everything is correct. If I had another daycare to enter, I would simply click the New button, begin the procedure again, but we only have one daycare, so I'm going to exit this menu. Next, the program asks me for my individual preparer code. This preparer code number was entered into the program's initial configuration and setup. Entering the preparer code makes certain that the company name and address prints on the 1040 forms. Also, if the tax office pays commission per tax return, the preparer code tells you who prepared each return. I'm now at the personal information menu where I can make any changes necessary to the name and address, dependents, filing status, and so forth. But I'm happy with everything here, so I'm going to exit this menu. Next, I'm asked if I want to enter the client W-2s. I'm going to answer yes. And once again, I'm going to hit that New button or simply hit the Insert key on my keyboard to enter a W-2 for this client. I need to enter the employer's EIN. And because I've entered this EIN or this employer before, notice that the employer name and address has been remembered by the program and automatically fills in. Now I'm going to enter the wages and the federal tax withheld. The program will automatically calculate boxes 3 through 6, the Social Security and Medicare. So I'm going to drop down to the state ID, and I'm going to select Georgia. The state ID number automatically fills in because it remembers that I had a previous W-2 listing from RCS. The state wages fill in, and I'm going to enter the taxes withheld on the Georgia return. And once again, if the client had more W-2s, I would simply repeat the process by clicking the New button, but since our client has only one W-2, I'm going to exit this W-2 listing screen. This takes us to the Income menu. Now, if our client had income from any other source, such as a small business or rental property, I'd enter it here, but for this demo tutorial, I'm going to exit the Income menu. Now, because of the income that's been entered, the filing status, and the fact that there's a dependent on the return, the program recognizes that the client qualifies for the Earned Income Tax Credit. The Form 8867 due diligence questions now appear, and we have to complete this form and answer these questions to qualify our client. Was the taxpayer a non-resident alien for any part of the year? No. Is the taxpayer a qualifying child of another person? No. Did I complete Form 8867 based on current information provided by the taxpayer? Yes. Did I ask this taxpayer any additional questions that are necessary to meet the knowledge requirement? Yes. Did you document the additional questions that I asked? Yes. Did the taxpayer provide me with the information necessary to answer those questions? Yes. Since our taxpayer has a qualifying child, I now need to drop down to number 2 and answer that question. Does Jeremy qualify another person for EIC? No. I'm going to prove Jeremy's residency by clicking on number 4. And we're going to say that the taxpayer provided me with school records or statements. And now I'm going to put some due diligence notes in here to satisfy the due diligence notes requirement. Now, once I've completed these EIC due diligence questions, I'm going to exit to the client's 1040 screen. And notice that I can expand or shrink the 1040 on the screen to suit my needs. The client's potential refund is displayed at the top of the screen. And if I were to have any other entries for this client, I would simply select the appropriate forms and menus from this screen. Now, there's a couple of ways to maneuver on this 1040 screen. I can select from the menu options located in the top left, or I can simply double-click on the line of the 1040 form to take me to the entry point for that line. For instance, if I wanted to enter another W-2, just simply click on line 7, and it takes me to the entry point for the W-2. Now, once I've entered all the data for my client, I'm going to finish up by marking the return for electronic filing by selecting option 12, Mark Return Electronic. Since I'm going to transmit this return as a bank product, I'm going to want to answer yes to this question to have the tax preparation fees taken out of the refund. Now I get to choose the type of bank product that the client desires. I'm going to use a bank check. Make sure that everything is entered correctly. The pins are there. And I'm going to print the Form 8879 and have the client sign this form. And if your client wants to receive a text message when his or her check is printed, I can enter the cell phone number on this screen. Next, I'm going to print the consented disclosure form and have my client sign this form as well. Now I'm at the e-file menu where I can review my electronic filing options for my client. And I'm going to exit to the 1040 screen and prepare the state return. And now notice, before we access the state return, we finish the federal return and mark the federal return for electronic filing. This is important. Keep in mind that the state return can't be marked for electronic filing until the federal return has been marked for e-file. Now, while some states have additional credits and deductions that might need to be entered, most states like Georgia, for instance, the state return can be calculated with one click of the mouse. So my Georgia resident return, in one click, I've calculated the refund for this client. I can mark the state return for electronic filing. And exit back to the 1040 screen. I'm now finished with this tax return. I've marked it for electronic filing. So now I can exit the client's 1040 screen. This takes me to the receipt menu. Here I can review my fees, print an invoice, enter a payment for the preparation of the tax return, or if the return is filed as a bank product, I can review the estimated first check. So when I'm finished, I'm going to exit the receipt menu. But first, for this particular client, I need to put in taxpayer identification for the bank product. And now that I'm finished, I'm going to exit the receipt menu. Now a question will appear asking if I'm ready to mark the return as complete. For this video, I'm going to answer yes. Now keep in mind that marking the return as complete only moves the return to the electronic filing table. If any changes need to be made to the return, they can be made up until the return has been accepted by the IRS. A backup copy of the return is created, and now I'm taken back to the main menu where I can begin a new tax return or e-file the return that I just created. With TaxSlayerPro, you have the option to file your returns in a batch at the end of each day or e-file them one at a time. To e-file your returns, select the e-file returns button. Select option 1, Transmit Electronic Returns. Select Transmit. Print the list of clients to be transmitted. Connect to the TaxSlayer servers and send the return. exit the menu, and print my reports. It's that easy. Thanks for watching our demo video. We'd love to welcome you to our family of users. Call us at 1-888-420-1040 and order your TaxSlayerPro software today. Hi,